Hello everyone, welcome to Arpita Sharma classes. So today we are going to analyze the Hindu newspaper for 18th of August 2020. आज हम 18th of August 2020 का The Hindu newspaper analyze करने जा रहे हैं. And in today's class, we are also going to solve some of the most important questions from 17th August 2020's The Hindu newspaper. 17th August 2020 के हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर से कुछ important current affairs based prelims perspective से हमने question तैयार किए हैं आप सभी के लिए. So we are also going to solve that. Also you can answer in the comment section. आप comment section में answer दे सकते हैं उसका. So let's start the class without any delay. Class शुरू करते हैं. So before starting the class, a small announcement is there for all of you. आप सभी के लिए एक छोटी सी announcement है class शुरू करने से पहले. I'm teaching live on Unacademy Plus. If you want to subscribe to Unacademy Plus for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 or 24 months, if you want to take subscription, you can use code SHARMA20 to get 10% discount. ये code use करके easily आपको 10% discount Unacademy Plus पर मिल जाएगा. Let's start with the questions first. Question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding Drugs Prices Control Order DPCO. DPCO is issued by the government. It is issued by the government of India under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940. Next statement says, National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority has been entrusted with the task of fixation or revision of prices of pharmaceutical products and enforcement of provisions of drugs control. Which statement is correct? कौन सा statement सही है? You have 10 seconds time to answer this question. The time starts now. Correct answer to this question is, इस question का correct answer है It is B, that is statement 2 is correct. Statement number 2 आपका बिल्कुल correct है. इधर आप देख सकते हैं. Drugs Prices Control Order is an order issued by Government of India under Section 3 of Essential Commodities Act 1955. That is why statement 1 is incorrect. Okay. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding National Agricultural Higher Education Project. NAHEP aims to develop resources and mechanisms for supporting infrastructure, faculty and student advancement at agricultural universities. NAHEP has got financial assistance from World Bank. Again, which statement is correct? You have to identify the correct statement. You have 10 seconds time to answer the question. Correct answer to this question is, it is C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. It has been formulated by ICAR for 5 years and the project is proposed on 50:50 cost sharing between the World Bank and the Government of India. So 50% we are going to get the financial assistance from the World Bank itself. Next question, the Restore L project, sometimes seen in news, is related to climate change mitigation, preservation of ancient monuments, in-orbit satellite servicing, protection of Earth from asteroids. Which statement is correct? Again, you have 10 seconds time to answer the question. Correct answer is C, in-orbit satellite servicing. So the Restore L project, earlier its name was, इसका जो अभी नाम है वो है OSAM-1, that is On-Orbit Servicing Assembly Manufacturing 1. Earlier it was known as Restore L project. Alright. So it has all the tools, all the technologies, all the techniques which are needed to extend the satellite's lifespans. Clear? Next question, world's first sanctuary for white tigers is located in which of the following states? Karnataka, Assam, मध्य प्रदेश और उत्तराखंड. Correct answer is C, Madhya Pradesh. It is in the Satna district of Madhya Pradesh. Now moving on to the first news for today. पहली न्यूज शुरू करते हैं आज की. Supreme Court to study context of charges against judges. So the Supreme Court has decided to launch a detailed examination into the circumstances under which a person can make public allegations of corruption against the judiciary. So what are the circumstances? What are the situations under which a person can make public his allegations, his charges of corruption against the judiciary, right? So basically, the bench framed two questions while hearing a contempt case initiated against advocate Prashant Bhushan. प्रशांत भूषण के ऊपर कुछ कंटेम्प्ट केसेस के एलिगेशंस लगे थे. सो व्हाट आर द केसेस? लेट अस फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड दैट. सो ही पोस्टेड 2 ट्वीट्स. ट्विटर पे उन्होंने 2 ट्वीट्स पोस्ट किए थे. भूषण's फर्स्ट ट्वीट related to a picture of Chief Justice S.A. Bobde, in which he is seen sitting on a high-end motorcycle. And in the second tweet, Bhushan gave an opinion on the role of last 4 Chief Justices of India in context of the state of affairs in the country. So basically, Supreme Court found that lawyer Prashant Bhushan, he was guilty of contempt of court for the 2 tweets that he posted. These were the 2 tweets. And it said that it had shaken the very foundation of constitutional democracy. Right? The hearing on the quantity of punishment will be on 20th August, right? So basically, ये news है आपकी. This is the case on Prashant Bhushan, because of which Supreme Court has raised this question that what are the circumstances under which a person can charge or make any allegation of corruption against the judiciary. Bench has framed 2 questions while hearing a contempt case started against advocate Prashant Bhushan. First question is, in what circumstances can such statements on judicial corruption be made? Second, under what circumstance can these allegations be made public? एक तो आप charges डाल रहे हो जुडिशरी के ऊपर corruption से related, ऊपर से उन्हें public भी कर रहे हो, right? So किस circumstance में आप उन charges को public कर सकते हो और किस circumstance में आप ऐसे charges लगा सकते हो, ये questions Supreme Court ने तैयार किए हैं जिनके ऊपर discussions होगी. 3-judge bench led by Justice Arun Mishra has decided to hear the arguments on the 2 questions, and after undergoing into the discussion procedure, after making the understanding the questions, after answering these questions, right, they are going to make any further statement. Now they also referred to the 1992 judgment. Now what was this 1992 verdict? The bench referred to the majority judgment which was delivered by the Justice J.S. Verma for a constitution bench in 1992. It was related to the removal of Justice V. Ramaswamy, who was a Supreme Court judge. The judgment had laid down, this is very important for prelims, the 1992 judgment for the removal of Justice B. Ramaswamy, it had laid down the procedure to deal with allegations against a sitting judge. Incumbent judge, if there is any, if you are making any allegations against that judge, then there are certain procedures that you need to follow. The judge had to be given a fair opportunity to be heard before an inquiry committee which is formed under the Judges Inquiry Act of 1968. Remember this year as well for the upcoming prelims examination. Now, if you are going to make any charges or allegations against an incumbent judge, that is the in-office judge or the sitting judge, then an inquiry committee is constructed under the Judges Inquiry Act of 1968, and that inquiry committee will hear the side of the judge as well. That means the judge will be given a fair opportunity to be heard to make his case. Now the judgment had limited the inquiry process against a judge to be done within a tight and limited circle of high judicial functionaries so that there will be clear transparency, and plus there will be no corruption in that inquiry committee as well. And the dominating spirit of 1992 judgment was to preserve the right, interest and dignity of the judge, which is commensurate with the dignity of all the institutions and functionalities. Right? Now, moving ahead, what was the rationale behind Supreme Court's verdict? What necessitated this? Basically, the court had made following observations. It may be better in many cases for the judiciary to adopt a magnanimously charitable attitude, even when utterly uncharitable, unfair criticism of its operations is made out of a bona fide concern for improvement. Basically, it says, in this Prashant Bhushan case, it says that even if the person who is making allegations against the judiciary, he is making disrespectful allegations and he is promoting those allegations without any proof or without getting it proven, right, on the public platform. In that case, as also, the judiciary should adopt a very huge charitable attitude towards that person. However, when there appears some scheme and design to bring about results which have the tendency of damaging the confidence in our judicial system or demoralize the judges, then in that case, right, the justice have to take a firm stand. That judiciary has to take a firm stand. For that it summarizes up to one point that शुरू में सुप्रीम कोर्ट को एक बहुत ही चैरिटेबल, बहुत ही पीसफुल, बहुत ही काम एटीट्यूड के साथ उस इंसान की बात सुननी चाहिए जो कि एलिगेशंस लगा रहा है. बट अगर ये प्रूव हो जाता है कि वो इंसान का इंटेंशन खराब था एलिगेशन लगाने के पीछे, जुडिशियल सिस्टम पे हमारे भरोसे को तोड़ना था उसका एम, उस केस में हमें जुडिशरी को फर्म स्टैंड लेना पड़ेगा. इफ सच एन अटैक इज नॉट डेल्ट विद द रिक्विजिट दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड डिग्री ऑफ फर्मनेस, it may affect the national honor and prestige in the Committee of Nations, right? Now, why is the contempt law seen as problematic? The judge himself acts as prosecutor and victim and starts with the presumption of guilt rather than innocence. So basically इस केस में जिस जज के ऊपर ये इल्जाम लगते हैं वो अपना ही प्रोसिक्यूटर भी होता है और वो अपना ही वो विक्टिम भी होता है. और उसे स्टार्ट केस को, हियरिंग को कैसे स्टार्ट करना होता है? He has to start the hearing with the presumption that he is guilty rather than being innocent. Then he has to prove that I am not guilty for that offense. Contempt proceedings are quasi-criminal and summary in nature, right? How have other democracies dealt with the question of contempt? For example, when we talk about the British judges, they often take no notice of personal insults, right? And if we talk about US and Canada, they punish people for contempt only when there is imminent or clear danger to the administration of justice. Only then punishment is served. Now coming towards the next important news, more developed antibodies against virus. So here the serological survey is going on in Delhi and the second serological survey has been conducted. So this survey is very important for prelims. Remember what is sero survey? Sero survey involves testing of blood serum of a group of individuals to determine the presence of antibodies against that infection, right? So in this COVID-19 case, जितने भी इंडिविजुअल्स हैं उनके ब्लड सीरम को टेस्ट किया जा रहा है ये जानने के लिए कि क्या उनके ब्लड में इस इन्फेक्शन, इस वायरस के अगेंस्ट एंटीबॉडीज बननी तैयार हुई है या नहीं. And the facility oriented surveillance is an expansion of the testing of flu and serious respiratory cases in hospitals. It is carried out by the government, right? Remember this fact, it is important for prelims. Clear? Coming towards the next important news, NGT tells states to monitor Ganga rejuvenation. The National Green Tribunal has directed Chief Secretaries of UP, Uttarakhand, Bihar and West Bengal to periodically monitor the rejuvenation of Ganga river. And NGT has observed that there are pollutants which are still discharged into the river, right? So over here you have to remember two things. First you have to remember NGT, year of establishment, aim of the body, members of this body and composition of this body, right? And you have to remember, secondly, you have to remember what is Water Act. These two topics you have to study in this particular news article. This whole news article per se is not important, but these two topics are very, very important. Now this is the editorial that you need to study today. What is criticism and what is contempt? So basically you all know that we have studied in the previous slide as well that a recent order of Supreme Court has found that senior advocate Prashant Bhushan is guilty of contempt for two tweets. One is related to Chief Justice of India, second is related to the destruction of democracy. So what is criminal contempt? Section 2 subsection C of the Contempt of Courts Act 1971 defines criminal contempt as the publication of any matter or doing of any other act which scandalizes or lowers the authority of any court. अगर आप कोई ऐसी एक्टिविटी करते हो जिससे आप स्कैंडलाइज कर रहे हो किसी कोर्ट को, या आप कोर्ट के अथॉरिटी को अब्यूज कर रहे हो, उसकी अथॉरिटी को, उसके पावर को कम समझ रहे हो, राइट, then at that case this is a case of criminal contempt, or you are obstructing the administration of justice. And we all know that freedom of speech is a fundamental right, right? It is guaranteed to every citizen under Article 19, right? And in CK Daftari or versus OP Gupta case in Supreme Court held that existing law of criminal contempt is one such reasonable restriction, right? That does not mean that one cannot express one's ire against the judiciary. ऐसा नहीं है कि criminal contempt की proceedings हैं हमारे law में, इसका मतलब आप कभी अपने एक्सप्रेशंस को एक्सप्रेस नहीं करोगे, अपनी बात को, अपने आइडियाज को एक्सप्रेस नहीं करोगे, अपने थॉट्स को एक्सप्रेस नहीं करोगे. दैट डज नॉट मीन दैट, right? So denying guidelines for contempt of court, as long back as in 1968, Lord Denning MR set out guidelines in matters of contempt of court. He stated that contempt is not the means to uphold the court's dignity, right? If somebody is raising some serious questions on the authority of the court or the powers of the court or the administration of the court, that does not mean that you will just charge him by the punishment of contempt of court. No. He said its jurisdiction is to be exercised sparingly, and that the protection of freedom of speech is paramount. You need to protect the freedom of speech of that person as well. He is free to express his opinions. He is free to express what he thinks about the judiciary, right? While welcoming criticism, Lord Denning only requested, underline this, he only requested that it be fair, since judges, owing to their status, are not in a position to refute the comments so levelled against them, right? So go through this editorial. This is very, very important editorial. What is the difference between contempt and what is the difference between criticism? If you are criticizing the judiciary, so if you are being charged with contempt, right, is it fair? Is it fair for your fundamental right, or is it violating your fundamental right? Or what is the limitations of criticism? Till which point you can criticize judiciary? That is also the question which has been raised in this editorial. Indian Nepalese diplomats discuss bilateral projects. India and Nepalese diplomats, they met in Kathmandu. They reviewed the status of the ongoing bilateral projects. It is the first diplomat level meeting between the two sides following the Kalapani territorial dispute that we have studied. What were the points of discussions in this meeting? Basically, cross-border railways, Arun-3 Hydropower project, Pancheshwar multi-purpose project, Nepal Police Academy construction, and the Ramayana project. All these projects are important for your prelims perspective. Do remember that between which two countries these projects are being carried out. Clear? Itni baat clear rahegi? Right. Now the next important news, 4G SIM cards disconnect Ashas. So accredited social health activists or ASHAs are at the front line of the India's battle against COVID-19, and the community health worker programs can improve the health status of community states. Research by ORB Media. So here you can go through this particular article. It's a research by the ORB Media, how the ASHAs, right, they are becoming the frontline COVID fighters, and how they have gone to strike in Haryana after they were issued new Jio 4G SIM cards and their old SIMs disabled to ensure that they migrate to Android phones for better monitoring of service delivery. So you cannot force people for switching over their phones for better connectivity, etc., against their wills, and they are trying to force them by switching off their old SIMs, right? The ASHA workers say that they were promised smartphones in 2018, but the procurement has been delayed. Even they want to handle they want to have the new Android phones, and they were promised by the government 2 years back in 2018, and still they have not received any such mobile phone, right? So this is today's important news article. Let us solve this last question for today. Which of the following pairs are correctly matched? Umbrella movement, political movement during Hong Kong democracy protest. Yellow Vest movement, protest movement for economic justice that started in China. Fridays for Future movement, global student movement pushing for action on climate change. Which statement is correct? कौन सा statement correct है? जल्दी से बताएं. You have 10 seconds time to answer this question. Correct answer to this question is It is B. Statement 1 and 3 are correct. Statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 2 incorrect है. Yellow vest movement or yellow jacket movement is a popular grassroots movement which did not start in China. It started in France in October 2018. Alright. So this was all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's class. If you really enjoyed today's class, then do not forget to like the video, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.